Hello world, it's your boy Kuya P. This is the NRW, where nerds rule the world, here to talk with the amazing Mutts creator Patrick McDonnell and his brand new book from Abrams ComicsArts coming out on September 3rd. It's called Breaking the Chain, the Guard Dog Story. 30 years in the making, Patrick. I'm so excited for the world to see this. I had the pleasure, the honor of reviewing this, and it hit me in all the feels. I'm a dog owner, dog lover. I'm an empath. So I was just all the bubble of emotions. How are you today, sir?
I'm great, thanks. After that intro, I'm fantastic. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you, sir. So 30 years. We're finally letting the guard dog free. I was reading that it's the idea came last year to finally do this after so long in 2023. Can you just tell me about that process in a way? And also, because I'm a nerd, I also want to say you're a superhero for doing this, because I saw also last year one of the books I was excited to pick up was the superhero's journey that you also had with Marvel. So it's great that you're a real life superhero with your own characters, and you're setting him the guard dog free. So it's just marvelous. So uh, please tell me why and now and why it's so important.
Well, thanks. I was doing Mutts for about a year, and I thought it would be interesting if Earl and Mooch had a villain, some nemesis they would have to deal with. So I started in my sketchbooks designing what I thought would be like a mean, vicious dog they would have to deal with. And I started, I gave him a big jaw and teeth, and I gave him a spike collar to look tough. And then in my sketches, I drew a spike collar and I put him on a chain, and, thinking of like the cliches of a bad dog. And boy, as soon as I put that chain down him, I realized he wasn't a villain. He was a tragic character. And I started thinking about all the poor dogs that actually have to live that life tethered. So, I try my best in Mutts to be a voice for the voiceless. So I thought I would put Guard Dog in there to help raise awareness about the plight of these dogs. And I always thought I would eventually, all the readers wanted me to free them. But I talked. I'm close to a lot of animal groups and a lot of animal organizations, and most of them thought that I should keep them on the chain to help tell that story, to maybe inspire someone to take their dog off a chain. And I've always promised my readers I would do it, and boy, it took a long time. But last year, it was the time to do it, and it turned out to be the longest continued story I ever did in Mutts. It ran over 7 weeks, and we've collected all of them, and I colored them and added some new things, and we put out the Guard Dog Breaking the Chain book that comes out next week.
Yes, September 3rd, as of this recording. Wow. That again, just so beautiful and just so important. And I can totally understand from the advocacy groups to say, hey, keep it, because this creates that awareness. But yeah, 30 years is time to set Guard Dog free, but completely understand it. Just so important, the messaging here. And what I really love when people finally get their hands on this book is they'll see towards the end of the book that you have, URLs and just groups that people can reach out to get involved and create awareness if they see, dogs in this situation. It actually struck a chord with me, because when it's Labor Day weekend of this recording, I was supposed to go visit my family in South Carolina. We have a neighbor that my parents have reported numerously on, because they have a tethered dog in their front yard. They call all the time, and nothing still has been done, and it's just heartbreaking whenever we go to visit. What with this story now coming out and also creating that awareness, can you speak to that? Because I know you're as well part of these advocacy groups, and and letting people know about just how important it is to take care of our animals.
Yeah, I in the back of the book there's some tips of how you could help. There's a list of different animal organizations who specialize in that, and you always could call your local animal control. And there's small things you could do. You could be friendly and offer that, maybe you could say, we have extra blankets we could donate to the dog. We have some food we'd like to donate to the dog. So that, there's things you can do. half the states in America now have anti-tethering laws, but we still got a long way to go because there's still a lot of states that are far behind.
Yeah, South Carolina, I'm looking at you. You need to
Yeah.
fix that. Um, so putting this book together, you finally decide to do it. Could you tell me how difficult it was when you finally decide to, okay, uh, create this story? You know, can you tell me maybe just what that process was like, and or you know how long it took you to kind of put everything together?
I knew the readers were desperately waiting for it. So I knew it had to be substantial. And I mean, I always knew, the first year Guard Dog was by himself and his only friend was the moon. He would have talks with the moon. But then I introduced this little girl, Doozy, who, you know, he broke her heart and she would go visit him all the time, jump over the fence and give him some attention and love. So I knew Doozy, had to end up with Guard Dog. What was interesting when I did it, a daily comic strip in this day and age is an interesting way to tell a story because people just want immediate gratification and, just, binge watch everything and everything's at once. But, for this story, people had to wait 24 hours for the next installment, and the next installment was only 3 panels. So
Yeah.
it lasted 7 weeks. And in that 7 weeks, Guard Dog was in trouble. So people really got involved. And what's strange was that, people really thought that he might pass away, which I found strange for me just because, my God, I've lived with this character for 30 years. Why would I do that for him? I think part of that was, I don't know if you're familiar with the comic strip For Better or Worse,
Yes.
but that was a comic strip, and Lynn Johnson, the cartoonist, actually had her dog Farley pass away because her strip is in like real time. So the dog was old and she had him pass away. So people were actually writing to me saying, I hope you don't Farley him. So I think that added to the drama. But I always knew that he was going to get a loving home with the little girl who rescued him.
So beautiful and so sweet. And yes, yeah, it would have hurt a lot if it happened.
Oh my God, the poor dog was chained for 30 years. I couldn't do that to
I'm so thankful for that.
him.
It's to your point in regards to, creating, I'm a filmmaker, a comic book creator here and there. Um, I love just the simplicity of your work, and it's so profound. Um, how do you find yourself restricting from just doing so much? Because it does take a lot to be even just so simple, to pull back, because I'm a very detailed kind of guy. It, how is your creative process in like creating this? If we can speak to that
You
in a
know,
way.
I'm from the less is more school. Uh,
Mm,
I believe in the Zen of comics. And so it always amazes me how little you have to draw to get people involved. Growing up, I was obviously a big fan of Peanuts and Charles Schultz. And it really is amazing how, just a couple of blades of grass, for a house, part of a chair, and a mirror on the wall. And I think the readers bring their own imagination into the piece. So you don't need to give them that much for them to get involved. And I feel like when you only have 3 panels, and geez, they print comics so small nowadays, you really have to get a lot of information in a small space. So I always feel that comic strips are like poetry. You really have to whittle everything down to the most important part. And that's what I do with Mutts. What's the least amount of words that'll tell the story? If I could do the joke with no words, that's even better. The nicest thing about becoming a cartoonist is I got to become friends with Charles Schultz, and he told me he was most proud of the Peanuts that he did that had no words because he felt like it's a visual medium, and if he can tell the story with no words, that was like extra special.
wow, I love that. Charles Schultz is a legend, and you are a legend yourself, sir. Just such amazing work, and just masters that simplicity. I learn from you and Schultz every day as a creative. Just so beautiful. Um,
Well,
as I was learning more about this release tied with Abrams ComicsArts, you had Rob Thomas do a forward, but he also has a beautiful foundation. And I see there's merch coming. How do you feel about all this? Because I'm looking forward to going and buying my Guard Dog shirt and hat and just get swagged out.
What's really nice about this book is the singer Rob Thomas and his wife Marisol wrote the introduction. Really, I'm honored. That was such a beautiful introduction. And they run an organization called Sidewalk Angels. And we just did a collaboration with a Guard Dog T-shirt for them. And you can learn more about that on Sidewalk Angels or on, obviously on Mutts.com. You could always discover what's new.
I'm gonna put the links in the description below, y'all, so you can go pick that up. Also, get pre-order. Well, actually, the pre-orders already happened, but they're still taking orders. Go get your copy of Breaking the Chain, the Guard Dog story. Just so lovely and just such an honor to speak with you, sir. As a longtime fan of the Mutts, and now with Breaking the Chain happening, and as a dog owner, empath, I just love that this is here and we can consume it. And just yes, we're cheering over here.
But, I've been blessed. Comic people and animal people are the nicest people, and that's who I get to spend time with. And it sounds like you're both. So it was a real pleasure talking to you.
Definitely. Same, sir. Yes. Thank you so much. Everybody go pick up Breaking the Chain, the Guard Dog story. Go pick up the superhero's journey. Again, I love seeing you delve into the comics realm. Can we see you do that again? Are you thinking about that?
I have to be honest, that was the most fun book I ever did. I mean, I grew up with those Jack Kirby comics, and they mean a lot to me. And I do hope I get another chance at that. It was such a pleasure to do.
I can't wait because I really enjoyed that last year. And now with this, you were making me cry. And I was wondering if I was going to cry during this because, again, I'm a ball of emotions. I'm an empath. I'm a father. I got my Lily girl who you can't see right now because of the background because I want to showcase this. But she's with me by my side every day. And I just hope that this book just creates awareness and just does all that it needs to do so that way we can prevent animal cruelty and just all of that. So thank you so much, Patrick. It is an honor, a pleasure to speak with you.
And thank you for getting the message out. Thank you so much.
Definitely. Everybody, Patrick McDonnell, Breaking the Chain, the Guard Dog story, Arise from Abrams ComicsArts on September 3rd. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World.
Take care.
Thank you. There you go, sir. Recording. Okay, here we go. In a 1, 2, 3.